all part of an effort to try to deflect from their failures as a House majority to deal with the issues of importance to everyday Americans, and of course, to the fact that Republicans have been running a pedophile protection program for the last several months until the survivors, partnering with a handful of courageous Republicans led by Representative Massey, partnering with Representative Connor, and House Democrats forced Donald Trump, forced Mike Johnson, and forced the Republicans to capitulate so that the American people could have the transparency that they deserve.
And just a quick follow-up, do you regret that Stacey Plaskett did what she did, and is that something that you would tell other Democrats not to do in the future?
I think that Stacey Plaskett has spoken extensively on this issue, and I'll let her words speak for themselves.
Thank you. Following up on ACA, I know you mentioned your position of the discharge petition for the 3-year extension, but what about something like the Kevin Kiley, Sam Ricardo, the bipartisan bill that it's a 2-year extension, it adds income taxes, a couple other conditions. Is that something that leadership could get behind?
Yeah, the House Democratic position right now, supported by the overwhelming majority of House Democrats, is a 3-year extension of the Affordable Care Act tax credits. Now, Republicans have repeatedly been given the opportunity to take yes for an answer and to address this health care crisis that they've created.
In Redford, I'm Jessica Dupnack. Take a look at the man police say is wanted in connection to a homicide in Detroit. We'll have the latest on this case next.
I pick him up, I scream his name, he doesn't reply.
A hearing in the murder of a 6-year-old boy. What the boy's mother said today on the stand. Rich.
Our weather stays pretty quiet heading into the weekend now. Next week is Thanksgiving. Some changes in the forecast. We'll check them for you just ahead.
Working for you. Fox 2 News at 10 starts.
On the run in Redford, police are searching for a man wanted for a homicide in Detroit. Good evening, everybody. I'm Rupraj. The search sent schools into lockdown and left neighbors on edge. Fox 2's Jessica Dupnack has been following this story since it broke earlier today. She's live in Redford with the latest. And Jess, we're getting our first look at the picture of the suspect tonight.
That is exactly right, Roop. I just checked in with my police sources, and they said we do not have our guy. And that means that this guy, he still poses a risk to the community. Now, this happened hours ago, right around 2 o'clock. He could be literally anywhere at this point, but he was last seen here in Redford Township. Let's take a look at that photo. This is Dalvin Nickerson. He's wanted in connection to a murder at a bootleg barbershop in Detroit set up by a janitor at Charles Wright Academy. The janitor's customer was shot and killed last Friday. Now, the Detroit police fugitive team, they thought they had their guys Wednesday afternoon, tried to pull all 3 over. It led to a short chase that ended in Redford near Western Golf Course off Beech Daly. All 3 ran, only 1 got away, and that is Nickerson. Now, if you're going to be allegedly involved in a shooting like this, neighbors out here are wondering what else you're capable of.
Oh, I think it's so scary. You know, people are always quick to say, oh, it'll never happen here, but you just don't know.
What are you going to do different tonight?
Well, I had my 6-inch blade by the bed, so I'm probably going to just grab my 9mm and just, yeah.
It's a 9mm kind of night?
Yeah, it's a 9mm kind of night. If I hadn't ran into you guys, it just would have been a normal night, and that's it. But yeah, tonight I'm going to do a little extra protection, just in case.
Now, if you're Davine Nickerson, you don't want to go to Bridget's house, that's for sure. In all seriousness, the police are saying do not approach him in any capacity. If you see him, and he was last seen wearing black when he bailed from that vehicle here in Redford earlier today, call 911 and definitely do not approach. We'll continue to be in touch with Detroit police and my police sources to get the latest on this investigation. Reporting live in Redford, Jessica Dupnack, Fox 2 News.
Yeah, Jess, any idea exactly the nature of the fight at that makeshift barber shop? Was this someone that the suspect apparently knew? What are investigators telling you?
It does appear that the victim and the suspects knew each other. Now, it's important to point out, too, Rube, that this guy, Nickerson, he is believed to be their main suspect. They wouldn't give me any more information beyond that. So this is arguably one of the more dangerous of the three. So definitely someone police want to get into custody.
And that picture's on our website, fox2detroit.com, for those who want to check it out. Important, and certainly neighbors on edge out there in Redford. Jessica Dupnack for us live tonight. Thank you. Breaking news tonight, a new peace plan is reportedly in the works between Russia and Ukraine. The Trump administration helping to broker it. A deal could come as soon as this week. The exact terms of it are not being made public tonight. Also breaking tonight, President Trump signs into law the bill to release the Epstein files. Congress passed it nearly unanimously. This law requires the Attorney General to release the documents within 30 days. We'll have much more on this story coming up later this hour. Talking about the weather now, mild temperatures for a late November evening. How long can this good stuff last? Let's get right to Weather 30. Rich Luderman, he has his eyes on the skies tonight. Hey, Rich.
Hey there, Roop. Yeah, we have chances at 50 degrees moving forward in the forecast. Right now, it's quiet out there. We're seeing clouds come and go, and that'll be the case for the rest of tonight. 36 for us, 30 in Lansing. Chilly numbers for Port Huron up into the Thumb region, but these are live pictures right here in Southfield. You can see all things quiet along 9 Mile Road, so we'll get down to 32 on average. It is going to be dry through the weekend. Next Tuesday brings some rain, and Thanksgiving looks brisk and colder. We'll talk about all of it in the 7-day coming up in 10. Root, back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Rich. A former Warren police officer accused of embezzling money from a youth law enforcement program has been sentenced. Prosecutors say 29-year-old Jack Barnes stole somewhere between $200,000 and $100,000 from the nonprofit Police Explorer program. The program mentors young people interested in careers in policing. Barnes pled no contest to a reduced charge of embezzling from a nonprofit charitable organization. He was sentenced to probation and must take a financial stability course. 3 men accused in a drive-by shooting that left a 6-year-old boy dead back in court as a judge decides whether they'll stand trial. 30-year-old DeMontriel Wilson and 28-year-old Deontay Cherry and Terrence Blue, all accused of firing at a group of people back in July near 6 Mile and Joseph Campa. A stray bullet entered a nearby home and struck 6-year-old Riley Love. He later died. Several neighbors and investigators testified today, as well as Riley's mother, who had to relive that horrible night.
What did you hear?
A loud pop sound.
And when you heard that loud pop sound, where were you?
I was standing in front of Riley.
And where was Riley? Still in the front room?
He's on the floor.
When Riley falls, what do you do?
I pick him up. I scream his name. He doesn't respond.
Just awful. All 3 suspects are facing conspiracy and murder charges. Testimony will resume in 2 weeks. Superintendents and leaders in school districts around Michigan suing the state over its new funding requirement. Under the requirement, schools must waive legal privileges and agree to investigations following mass casualty events in order to receive state funding for student health and safety programs. Lawmakers are pushing this new provision following the deadly Oxford school shooting in 2021. A court postponed the funding deadline until December the 4th. A local couple under arrest and facing some serious charges tonight. They're accused of money laundering as well as hiring and harboring hundreds of undocumented immigrants. They live in Plymouth. 36-year-old Moises Arduino Rios and 30-year-old Raquel Arduino Rios operating a national plumbing company, Arduino Plumbing, here in Michigan. The DOJ says they made more than $70 million, employing more than 250 people, many of whom are undocumented. We spoke about this with an attorney who's not connected to the case, but explained how he sees this all unfolding.
In this business, they check the employment records, and apparently only 5 were legally present or had work visas or were citizens. I don't know specifically. So, you know, that's the crux of the case, is their status and their ability to work.
The feds investigating the couple between January of 2022 and August of this year. Well, agents from ICE swarming the area around Pine Knob. I'll tell you who they're looking for. Also, what are your rights if ICE comes to your door? A local police officer joins us in studio. We'll talk about that coming up. Also tonight. And later, an anti-Islam march in Dearborn turning heated. It's not the first time this community has been the target of hate, how it's been handled before, and how the city can deal with it now. Coming up in our next half hour, you're watching Fox 2 News at 10.